All right. When I think of Miami institutions, I think of places like Joe Stonecraft, Don Bailey's Jr., and my next guest, Kenny Sager. How you doing, brother?
Good, brother. How are you?
Happy to be here. You know, look, I'm looking fresh. I got
Hey, man,
one
you
of your
look fresh naked. So when you put on my garment, you look even sexier, baby.
Well, listen, man, I've been shopping with you for years. My whole family buys stuff from you, but I don't know the story of, you and when you came down here. And then obviously want to learn more about, Austin Burke, of like its origin stories and where you've taken it. Tell me about you and when you came down to Miami.
Well, fortunately, I'm alive and well. And I came down here in 1972.
Mm-hmm.
I come from Brooklyn, New York, Bensonhurst, Midwood area. Very Jewish, very Italian. We didn't have no Cubanos there. We had Puerto Ricans, which I love. And, I'm used to New York and everything like that. My father, unfortunately, worked about 4 or 5 jobs, a working man. Always thought that he would gamble $1 and make $1 million. And my father got into trouble with the mob.
Yeah.
And he was borrowing money, gambling it, borrowing money. I saw TVs go in my house on Mondays and out on Sundays when the game was over. I saw my dad bet on the New York Jets plus 16 against Baltimore and won the game. He was the only guy, I think, in Brooklyn that had the winner. But my dad got chased out of New York. He owned a lot of money, and he came down here, and they didn't come after him. And me and my mom were, I have a sister. She was going to GW.
Yeah.
She's a lawyer today, retired, successful. And my mom, we were living in an apartment building in Bensonhurst, Midwood area. And my mom, we couldn't pay the rent. We couldn't pay that. My grandfather, rest in peace, was tired of bailing out my father.
Sure.
So he cut him off. After a while, you get cut off.
Yeah, man.
And my dad came down here. He was a doorman for Seacoast Towers for the Alexanders Muss family. And my dad got very successful being a doorman. He started doing extra things for the tenants there, some very famous people that lived in the building, Seacoast Towers. And then he saved enough money, and then he brought us down, and I came to North Beach, which was about 85th Street off of Crespi Boulevard. And, I was an 8th grader.
Yeah.
And I go to the school and, girls, and it's winter in New York, and the only time you see really pretty girls, dressed, wearing hardly nothing is in the summer.
Sure.
But when I came here, it was everywhere. It was beautiful. I remember coming down here and saw the Doors when Jim Morrison.
No way.
At Coconut Grove. This was like 71, I believe. He got caught for, taking that thing out and getting arrested. And it was my first day here, and I went with this girl across the street. She invited me to go to the Coconut Grove. It was the City Hall, the convention center.
I was there yesterday. It's so funny.
Right. So I grew up and I started seeing like, wow, because I played baseball in New York and basketball. I was on the street doing that, going to school. When I came here, it was bikinis. It was, I found a new love.
Yeah.
Very hot was 85th Street Beach. I ended up going to Nautilus, and then I went from Nautilus to Beach High, and I was a high tide. And I played baseball for him, didn't work out. I met guys like Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
Went to school, a little older than me.
Yeah.
Andy Garcia was a little younger than me.
Yeah.
So we were very hip. Beach High was the hot
where you wanted to be.
And I worked, always worked. And then I was playing baseball, and that career didn't go, and I got hooked up on drugs. And the drugs of that day wasn't cocaine. It was what's called 7114 Quaaludes.
Yeah.
It's like kind of numbed you. And then at 17, I was hanging out at clubs at Honey for the Bears and the Mutiny. And I was like the cricket club.
Yeah.
And, I saw things at a young age, got into clubs with the ID. They didn't care and had a great time. And, I always liked fashion. I worked in New York for the mail shop in Brooklyn. And then I worked for Barney's for a little while. And then when I came down here, I wanted to get back into fashion. I worked for a few local stores, jean shops ahead of time that sold Faded Glory if the name brands were real hot, Nick shirts. And then I ran into a store called Austin Burke.
Yeah.
And here I am today. Yeah, I called Austin Burke, wasn't my uncle.
Okay.
But he acted like my uncle, like a father figure. And he kind of groomed me. I saw his selling ability, how he could sell ice in the winter.
Totally.
And I picked up, and I'm really a closer. Like I can close sales.
Yeah.
And I started liking customers, and customers started liking me. And here I am today that I own Austin Burke. And I happen to buy the land of the building, which is another story.
Right.
And here I am today, 50 years later. I've been at Austin Burke for 47 years.
Amazing, amazing.
And it's been very good to me, you know. And
well, what's the story of Austin Burke? How did your uncle get into that business? Because I remember as a kid seeing his ads.
Yeah.
And he was a great sales guy. Like I knew him about more as the sales guy than even the suit guy.
Well, he used to be on TV
all the time.
and take off the jackets.
Take off the jackets.
And I would have to pick him up the floor and, you know, he would put them on and it was all on the take.
Really?
So in other words, he had no script. He had nothing written down.
Just go.
And he would do that Spanish line at the end, "Si habla español."
Yeah.
And he was on Channel 51. I don't even think you know what on TV was and all that. He was on like the midnight to 5 in the morning
100%,
show.
yeah.
And there was another guy he hung out with, which was a great, also a salesman, but he represented, was Joey Carr. I don't know if you remember him, but he did that. And, you know, Berkey had his own way of selling, and he had a very, very high black trade at the time.
Okay.
He carried fancy colors. I remember guys coming in with red Cadillacs. They wanted a red coat or a red suit, yellow Cadillac. So I learned that side of the business as well.
Right.
And he kind of groomed me. And he started out in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a store there in Philly and then moved down in the 40s. And he opened a store up on Lincoln Road. And there was some fine men's clothing stores. You had Eddie Hart's, who really took care of like the connected guys, the heavy hitters. And then there was Barron's, and then came Lanson's, then came Surrey's, and then came Burke. He kind of went bankrupt. He had problems there, I don't know, with robberies, and then with Rocky Pomerantz, who was the chief. There was a lot of problems going on. He decided, and he was the original guy that opened a warehouse, like like where I'm at, and selling at warehouse prices. And he always wanted to undercut the bigger stores.
Right, that had all the overhead and all the fancy spots.
So he took a warehouse and he named his own labels. Yeah. You know, Degrassi. He came up with these beautiful Signatory, and he came up with his private label. And he had a great following. Yeah. And he gave a lot to the community at the time. He had his own little radio show with WEDR, a black station. Yeah. And, you know, he gave a lot to the community. He had a store also, I believe, in the Fontainebleau. And then he had he had 5 or 6 units. I didn't know him then.
Right.
I'm just going back what I see. But there's a lot of pictures in my store that have him. But he took care of a lot of famous people like Count Basie. He did a lot of celebrities, you know.
Well, for you, the big thing for celebrities for you, and I'd encourage, obviously, anybody to go and shop there. It's amazing. But when you walk in there, it's almost like a museum of the amount of athletes, specifically athletes. What is your connection with the athlete world? Because, I mean, you're going back since the 70s, 80s. I see guys, I'm like, oh, my God, I remember when he played for the Dolphins.
Yeah, we had some great athletes come in. We have great coaches, Jimmy Johnson, Keith Erickson. We had all the Miami guys, Larry Coca, Butch. Yeah. I mean, but we had, you know, a guy, number 99, that I was the godfather for. I took care of him. I gave him his first suit. His name was Warren Sapp. Yeah. And me and Warren to this day are best of friends. He just got on with Colorado,
right? Yeah.
And he's an assistant coach with Dion.
Yeah.
But we've got athletes like Jim Brown, O.J. Simpson came in. I mean, they were all good to me. Whatever they did outside, that's on
But
them.
when they were there, they were gentlemen.
They're all gentlemen. Jeremy Shockey, A lot of this Dwayne Wade.
What's the most someone has ever dropped in there from a sports standpoint? Like
Money-wise?
Money-wise, or bought X amount of suits? Or
Well, I just had UD come in. He took like 30 suits. Udonis
30
has them.
suits?
Yeah, well, he's getting with ESPN.
You're right. So he's got to get fit.
But I've had multiple big sales because these athletes,
Yeah.
they got wheeled and dealed. They got pretty girls going into their locker rooms, and they start buying suits at $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 each. And then they come into my store and they got suits for $400, $500, $600, $700.
Right.
So to them, it's like unbelievable. We had Shaquille O'Neal come in. I mean, all the coaches from the Heat come in.
Yeah.
The first coach, Ronnie Rothstein, who's great. I knew him when he had hair on his head. I mean, Tony Ferrantino, another assistant coach. We've had coaches. We've had them all. I mean, Miami Vice.
How do you size up those guys? I mean, like,
well, at one time,
Shaq.
At one time, Burke, Austin Burke.
Yeah.
He fit every man. That was his slogan. We fit every man.
Nice.
From a 26 waist to a 70 waist. So we had inventory. I mean, you're talking inventory.
Inventory,
man. Like even today, you come into our store.
Yeah.
We got like 10 stores in one location. I mean, we have up to like 20,000 square feet of men's clothing. We don't sell any women's clothing. I mean, it's just clothing.
Yeah.
Suits, sport coats. I mean, the whole 9 yards. And today I'm doing great. I'm doing more business now than we ever did.
Yeah, tell me about that. So what's the 40,000 foot view of the men's fashion suit world? Where are we at?
Well, young guys are still wearing suits.
Yeah,
we're doing a lot of it. We're doing a lot of unconstructed, like really hip wear, like you put on a nice sport jacket or a pair of jeans, like you're wearing today.
Yeah.
I mean, guys want to look good.
Yeah,
but they want to feel good. And if you look good, you feel good, you make more money.
Yeah.
It just goes. You show up to the office, you show up anywhere, you wear a nice coat, you look really nice.
Yeah.
People look up to you, instead of coming in with a holey shirt, torn up jeans. You make an impression on yourself. So, you're looking for now and the future. But, everything down here, they think it's 100 degrees, no one wears suits. And I sell more suits than I think anybody in the whole country.
100%.
They come down here from all over the country. Fortunately, I'm getting a little older now. My son is an attorney in Miami. He's very successful. He does real well. He wears suits, but he didn't want any part of my business because with myself, business came first, then family, which is terrible. The kids today, they rather have family and then business. I kept my wife home. I'm an old schooler, okay? Yeah. So they call me like a Jew-wop. What is a Jew-wop? It's a Jew and Italian. That's where I grew up in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
When I came home from school till I was 16 years old, whether it was Miami or Brooklyn, my mother was home, made sure I had all my clothes for the next day, food. I mean, home-cooked meals. I'm not talking like TV dinners, or going out with the McDonald's joint. So when I grew up, I did the same thing. My wife was not allowed to work until my kids got into like high school.
Right, got it.
So my wife was also into fashion. She worked at very fine women's and men's stores, and she worked for me today a couple of days a week. But we had, we had rules, and our kids were brought up right to respect the police. We were the teachers. Those kids, if a teacher called my house, I'd bang my kid up. And my daughter too. They knew better.
Right.
Today's world,
Forget it.
That's why we have all this chaos.
Totally.
And, I don't remember having any, like, a division of the right against the left and the red against the blue. Well, we all bled together at one time. And we were one nation. Yeah. And I still live by that rule, I don't care who you vote for, what you look like, what he is, just get this world together again. We were a great nation, and we still can be. We just got to all come together. And, my time, I'm 67 years old now. I seen the end of Vietnam.
Yeah.
I seen a lot of things happen, for good and for bad.
Yeah.
But, at my point in my life, I'm now going to take care of my family.
Yeah.
I have 2 grandsons.
Congrats.
Thank you. They don't even know my name because I'm always working. Where
Yeah.
was I yesterday? Labor Day?
Yeah.
Working. Where was I Sunday?
Yeah.
Working. So I came to a point where, I don't know where I'm at this stage of the game. I'm well off financially,
Yeah.
but I work for it.
You work your ass off.
I'm uneducated. So I went through high school, got
Yeah.
thrown out of college, and I did it on my own by putting my head down and working my ass off.
Yeah.
No one gave me anything, bro.
Zero.
And they still don't give me anything.
Yeah.
And I try to help out. I mentor a few young men right now. But I'm at a point where I sold my building.
You did?
Yes. Last year.
Congrats.
And I still have a little time left.
Uh-huh.
And I'm really considering is to move on and end this career with power, going out, hitting 400, like a Hall of Fame numbers.
Yeah. Going out on
Because
top.
go out on top. Why do I need to do this? I
Right.
love the action.
Yeah.
For me to go out and just hear talking to you, it's a thrill.
Yeah.
For me to come in, and whether you buy a shirt or a suit, I love it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can leave it.
Right.
But I'm going to try. So right now, I'm probably either going to relocate
Okay.
or retire and close it up.
You can't retire.
It's an institution, I know.
Yeah.
But you know what? How many years can I keep doing this? I want to enjoy it. How old are you?
48.
You're 48. I'm 67. So I got about 20
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
I bet you against me
Okay.
that we'll go back 2 years.
Okay.
2 years.
Yeah.
You write down where you traveled,
Uh-huh.
and I'll write down where I traveled, and I've gone nowhere.
Yeah, you got to do that in your life.
So I got to do that. I
Yeah.
mean, your dad probably travels now, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about, taking care of yourself, your family,
Yes.
and enjoying your life.
Yeah.
I have a house in West Davie. I just redid it, did everything. I got a pool. I never been in my pool. I never been in my pool, bro.
Yeah. So you're burning on both ends. But I would tell you that I think the action, the people, your connection with folks, there's a reason why people call you the mayor, is actually what keeps you going and keeps you.
I love it. I go to
You
Heat
just got to slow
games.
down a little bit. Yeah.
I don't know if I can slow down.
You
So
can't.
I got a guy coming down from New York that's going to help me. We're going to look for a location near Wynwood,
Yeah.
maybe Midtown, around there. But I can tell you that I don't want to do any operational. I don't want to do any like accounting, bookkeeping.
Fuck that.
I'll do the buying, and I'll still be the selling, and I'll do the commercials.
Which is what you're great
bring
at.
them in. And I'll have appointments, but I'm
Yeah.
going to do 3 days a week and let him do it.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what it is to be sitting in a store 8-9 hours a day, every day, waiting for the customers to come in.
On your feet.
No,
Yeah,
I sit
busting-
around on the couch. I watch ball games.
Yeah.
I fool around. But, the action is great. The problem we have in this city, our transportation systems are horrible. Horrible. And more people are moving here from Chicago, Illinois, California,
yeah.
where
All
else?
over.
New York.
Yeah.
They're driving our prices up on real estate.
It's crazy.
And if you sell it, you can't buy nothing. You have to move out. So
Yeah.
you hold on to what you have.
Yeah.
But it used to take me 30 minutes to get from Davie, that's Fort Lauderdale, west, to Wynwood. Now it takes me an hour and a half. And it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
So for me, I would like to see the city, it's such a great city.
It's a great city. Affordable housing, mass transit. These are the education system. We got to get more schools, more,
And you got the teachers, you can't get them.
You can't get them
'Cause you
because they
can't
can't afford to
afford
live here,
it.
right? Now, let me tell you, you're talking a lot like somebody who may convert that nickname of the mayor to something real.
Well, I would like to run, like.
Are you announcing here on this show today?
No.
Come
I
on.
got too many.
I need breaking news,
listen,
brother.
I got too many skeletons in my closet, so that'll never
From
happen.
the mutiny.
But yeah, from everywhere. Honey for the bears. Just don't let you go there. I've done a lot of things in my life I don't want to talk about, but let me tell you, I can, you could straighten this thing out.
You
so
could.
quickly.
Yeah.
Monorails and transportation, that kills me.
Kills me.
Because the monorails that we have, what are they called? The train.
The Metro
The
train.
Metro Rail
yeah,
goes on one way. What about US 1 going straight up to Hollywood? How about Biscayne Boulevard going up? I mean, they had it going from Dayland to downtown, but from downtown it goes like into a different area.
It's a disaster.
They got to do something. My daughter lives in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, great city. I know there's a lot of homelessness.
Yeah.
But their transportation.
I've seen it. It's fantastic.
I never seen
that
so many
rail thing.
rails.
Yeah.
You got trolley cars. You got trains.
Yeah, it works.
And it works. You pay $4. You go all day, all night.
Yeah.
Me and my wife. Forget Uber. And the Ubers have killed this city because you got Uber.
Yeah.
And you have Lyft.
Yeah.
Then you have the cabs.
Yeah.
Then you have the limos. How do you expect to get home?
It's terrible. It's
I mean,
terrible.
you know, guys from Miami Beach call me up. I can't come today. I said, why can't you come into the store today?
Because of the time of the day.
It's 40 minutes to get from Alton Road by Joe's all the way to my store on 26 and 6.
No.
How could you not? Take you 5-10 minutes.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
So I think they got to fix that.
They got to. Now, let me take a step back. When you were in Wynwood, when you guys started, and I'd love to hear the story of how you got the building. Wynwood wasn't a spot to be in 1985 or whatever.
Let me tell you something. I used to leave my windows. You know, I love cars.
Yeah.
And I had an old BMW 635 that I got from Turner. He gave me the car. He had a Rolls Royce and he had the 635. They used to break windows there and take chains out of your car.
Yeah, just for no reason.
So I used to leave the windows down and the chains in the middle so they could take it and not break my windows. But at one time, Wynwood was horrible. You know, Wynwood was, I would say, a Puerto Rican area, and it still is. You have Roberto Clemente Park down the road. I love coming there because I started eating Spanish food down there, and they had some great Spanish food. And the neighborhood was high crime, but it was, I don't know, it was family oriented. It was nice, you know, the little restaurants, the little, you know.
It just had a character to it, a different character.
And then you had downtown.
Right.
And then you had Overtown.
Right.
Which was very rough. Now Overtown's all of a sudden coming up. They got nice affordable housing in there. But when I had it, it was garbage. That's why I bought the building for nothing. I mean, I paid like, if I pennies on the dollar.
Right.
And now it went from pennies to millions.
Right. Crazy.
And now they're taking my building and they're going to go 20 stories up and make it affordable housing and retail on the bottom, but it's going to take them about 3 years. So I got to move. I got till March. So I'm contemplating what to do. Like I talk to one of my guys who was the GM at Joe's.
Yeah.
He's having that same situation. You know, nobody's going down to the beach anymore like they used to. Like,
really? Why? Because of the traffic and all the
traffic bullshit. And the problems down there they had.
Yeah.
You know, and they can't afford the prices. Like you go into that restaurant,
it's insane.
You're paying a lot of money for stone crabs, and they don't get it.
They don't get it.
They want to get the younger vibe. I mean, your age, 48, but the 28, they're not getting like Kiki's on the Water crowd.
They're not getting that crowd. Yeah.
And they're not going to. Yeah. So they got to figure out how they're going to run their business. But you got to stay on top of your business today, because if you don't, you're lost.
You're totally
and you're
lost.
Forgotten.
Yeah.
Just like radio stations. All my radio commercials.
You used to do the ads.
I still do them.
Yeah,
I do them. I've done them. They come in. Could I take a picture? You want to take a picture with me? Why? Oh, I hear you on the radio. Big deal. I mean, big deal. But people got to know me and like me.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm a likable guy.
You are.
But I could be a son of a gun, too.
Yeah.
I could be a bad guy if you treat, you know. I tell customers, if they break my, you know, BLLS, I tell them, listen, do me a favor. What's your name? Do me a favor. Tell 10 of your best friends not to come in here either. So I pick and choose my customers now.
Yeah, of course.
And I got enough customers. I get write-ups and everything. But even radio, you can't reach your customer on the radio. Young people don't even listen to radio anymore.
This is
they
the new
listen
radio.
to the podcast.
Yeah, right.
Or they watch Instagram, TikTok. So I'm still on the radio. I'm spending all this money on QAM. And there's another thing. We only have one sports station in this city.
Yeah.
How could that be?
Times
How could that be?
It's
you got
crazy.
now soccer killing it down here. All of a
Crushing
sudden,
it.
soccer made it.
Yeah.
in this
Soccer
country.
finally made it.
Nobody knew what soccer was.
Jamming that thing down our throat for 25 years.
Who likes soccer? Nobody.
Nobody.
I mean,
And now everybody.
my son wanted to play that when he was a kid. No, you're not playing that.
You're playing baseball.
You're playing baseball. You know, he wasn't allowed to play football because, you know, nobody wants to get whacked.
Yeah.
But you got to come up where we're so ahead in the city,
Yeah.
but we're so behind.
We're so behind.
I
Yeah.
don't know why that is.
Well, because we got an infusion. So the people who moved down here, like it became ultra rich. I was talking to people the other day. I remember growing up as a kid, same one down here. Like the rich kid, his parents in school, the dad was a cardiologist, right? Did
Yeah.
well, whatever. Now it's the guy's a hedge fund. He has a venture, like the dad isn't making, $500,000 a year or $1 million. The dad's making $100 million a year. So it's thrown everything out of whack. And so, you're just kind of like the middle guy has just been wiped out. The middle class has been totally wiped out in this town. And then like the people that are the engine, the guys working in the back office of the restaurant or whatever, I don't know where they're living. Like they're not living in Little Havana anymore. Little Havana's expensive. It's nuts.
Yeah. I got a kid working for me. He's taking care of his family because they can't find jobs.
Crazy.
And they're paying $2,500 per month
For
in a one-bedroom on Southwest 8th.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, it's just out of control. What I wonder, because I struggled.
Yeah.
I mean, when I got married at 21.
Okay.
And we had kids at 28. And I couldn't afford a house. My first was a condo, and I paid $63,000 for it. And I think my mortgage and everything was $800.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a lot then, but not like now.
Not like now.
Now you can't buy a home in Liberty City.
Yeah.
Homes are going for $450 to $500. And
$455.
they're moving into Liberty City. It's not just 100% black. It's mixed now.
Yeah, it's mixed now.
You got all kinds moving in there because they want to get a house, and that they have no choice.
Yeah.
And the people that back in my day,
yeah,
you couldn't afford to live on Miami Beach. You went to NMB, which is North Miami Beach,
right?
And now that's high. Miami Shores is out of control.
Out of control. Millions of dollars.
I mean, and the houses are like little houses, but they're beautiful in a nice neighborhood.
Yes.
By Barry.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
nice
It's a great little area.
But I mean,
a couple $1 million for a house.
It's out of control, and if we don't, we got to fix it.
We got to fix it. Well, it's funny because I talked to one of the big brokers in town about a week ago, and he goes, 100% of the last X amount of houses that I've sold, the parents either paid for it or put the big down payment, because they're like, how are you going to save up $100,000, $200,000, whatever for a down payment if you're 26, 27 years old? You cannot do it. So like that's a great way for people in the middle class to build wealth, right? They buy a house, they build up equity in it, then they sell it, they get another house, and then over 25, 30 years, when it's time to retire, you have this nice piece of property that you can sell and cash those checks.
We did right. I mean, I bought my house in Davie for $235,000.
Yeah.
Now it's worth $1.6 million.
Crazy.
So that's my retirement. That's a good retirement.
It's a great retirement.
I mean, if you sell it, where you going to go?
That's
I have
the problem.
note on it.
You got to leave the city.
You got to leave the city. You got to go
or really downsize.
But you can't go to the Carolinas. Asheville
it's all
is out of control. Man. I mean, you got to go to Arkansas, man.
you in Arkansas, you ain't gonna make it. Man.
No, I won't make it long there. Mississippi, I won't make it there either.
So you know what's funny? We're talking old school stuff, and you have a quality that the new generation doesn't have. You know how to sell. Where did you learn how to sell?
I think you're born with it.
Yeah. Okay.
And I overcame obstacles. I think in life everything's an obstacle. And you have to grind.
Yep.
And you have to go through your obstacles, not around them. See, people today, they see an obstacle. What do?
Oh, they dodge it.
They run away.
Yeah, right.
For me, my biggest obstacle was I have a speech impediment. I have a lisp. And the girls, I could have corrected it, but they took me out of in school, they don't take you out of math or history or English.
Yeah.
They take you out of, playing ball. Or after school, or, they don't take you out when you want to get out.
Right.
Get me out of math.
Yeah.
So they put a mirror in front of me and they said, oh, come on, you could do it. Let's put out your tongue. I twisted and all this. I said, you know what? And the girls liked it. They thought it was cute. So I said, you know what? Screw it. And I went through my whole life with a speech impediment.
Yeah.
A lot of people make fun of me. I don't like people that make fun of other people.
It's not cool.
That is not cool.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into the political arena with it. But this man that's trying to be our president again, he needs to sharpen up and don't make fun of people, whether she's this or he's that or he's retarded.
Yeah.
don't talk about people.
Yeah.
Because they're hurting already.
Right.
Why make them hurt more?
Yeah, sure.
Give them a lift.
Yeah. Inspire.
You'd inspire them. That's the word, inspiring them. See, I'm uneducated. He came up with that great word.
You're not, so you keep saying
So
that.
wait, listen.
You got a
so
skill.
wait. So being a great salesman, you got to go through.
Yeah.
You got to cut it, and you got to grind. You got to put your head down.
Yeah.
You got to keep working.
Yeah.
And you got to listen what the customer is saying, and you got to kind of like look them over.
Right.
I tell you a story real quick. I'm in the store. Berkey's there, and this old guy comes in. And he looks like he's a short, fat guy, belly like me. Comes in, he goes, I'd like to buy a suit. And this guy looked homeless. I'm telling you, homeless.
Yeah.
And I was a young kid, and they were laughing at me. That other 6 salesmen that Berkey has. And they go, oh, what a schmuck, he's going to take this call. This guy's
going to waste his time.
He's going to waste time. I wasted time with him.
Sure.
And I take him to his size. I talk to him. I treated him like a gentleman.
Yeah.
I didn't look at him, what he was wearing, how much money. I didn't look if he's wearing a Rolex.
Yeah.
I just took care of him. So I take him to the suit section, and I put it on, and he got to like me. And I got to like him. He puts the suit on. He says, oh, I like this. You have other colors in this pinstripe? I go, yeah, I have a charcoal, I have a navy, and I have a light gray. I'll take all 3. Then he says, do you have solid colors? Yeah. Give me a black, give me a charcoal, give me a navy. He says, you have any plaids? I go, yeah. 5 plaids, I'll take them all. So he took about 15 suits. I'm talking 78.
It's a lot of suits.
76. Pants, shirts. Bill came out to like $8,000. You know, all my salesmen were laughing even more. Here a guy picking out all the suits, hanging them. And I wasn't going to ask the guy, hey, listen, how you paying this, cash or charge?
Yeah.
I had to go get the fitter, Paul, who's not with us, rest in peace.
Yeah,
Narez, he was a great
guy.
tailor. You remember him?
Of course, Paulie.
Great guy. He passed away.
Yeah.
So he comes down. I fit this guy up. And, you know, even Paulie's laughing at me. What are you doing here? The guy looks homeless. So he got done. He says, get him fitted. I get all the tickets off. I'm writing them up. Nothing was computerized then.
Sure,
You
right.
had to write the tickets. So he goes, I'll be right back. He goes outside, brings in an attache case, all busted up, bro. I mean, it was a leather, but it was all, I mean,
beat
bro,
the hell.
I remember it. It was all busted up.
Yeah.
And he had the ones with the numbers. You know,
Yeah.
you know, he opens it up
The old ones, yeah.
and he says, how much is it? And I go, it's like $8,500. He goes, good. Counts out money. Gives it to me. I give it to the register. All my salesmen had now laughing. They had heart attacks.
Yeah. They lost out all the commission.
That was the greatest sale I ever had, by the way.
Yeah.
I go outside. I thank him. He pays it. He goes, could you do me a favor? Gives me $100. This is for your troubles. Could you bring it to my house? I said, of course.
Yeah.
And $100 was like a
Oh,
nice
yeah.
tip. You know, you can go to like a steakhouse. I used to go to that steakhouse on 79th Street. It was great. I'll come to that later. Great steakhouse. High You Could Tell.
Okay.
Great steakhouse. Your dad would remember that. You had Fun Fair over there. You don't remember those days. Anyway, it was nice. 79th Street was real nice. You had the radio station there, WSVN. So week later, I get all the clothes. I put them in my car. I go to North Miami. I bring it to him. Oh, by the way, his car, he had a Caprice, a burgundy with a white top, but the white vinyl was all cut up too. So the guy, like, the guy, I don't know why he's buying all. Yeah. I go to his house in North Miami. The house looked like it hasn't been painted in 30 years. Disgusting. I go in, like haunted. I go in, boom, 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 hang it up. He says, I'll try one garment on. Could you help me?
Yeah.
Put him in, boom, boom, comes out. You know who the guy was?
No.
Joe Robbie.
No way.
Joe Robbie.
Joe Robbie.
The owner of
the Miami Dolphins.
And the owner of the stadium.
Of the stadium, yeah.
That was Joe Robbie.
Wow.
And I didn't even ask him for an autograph.
When did it register that it was Joe Robbie?
He told me when I brought it to his house. He didn't give me his name, paid cash, and he gave me the address.
No shit. Wow.
He don't let anybody know that he was Joe Robbie. So, small story that you wouldn't believe that, let me tell you something, in this world, you don't burn anybody.
Absolutely no way.
Because it comes in circles. I don't know how that happens, but it comes in circles.
It's called karma.
Is that instant?
Yeah, man.
Well, let me tell you something. So I move into Davie. I buy this house in a nice neighborhood, but I bought the small house. What do they say? Get the small fish in the big pond.
Yeah.
I get this little house for $235,000. I'm walking one day, and a guy says, "You know who that is? Who lives in that house over there?" I go, "Who's that?" Joe Robbie's kid. So I can't wait to meet the kid to tell him I met my father, but he passed away.
Yeah.
So one day I'm walking around the neighborhood, and I see him. I go, "Hey, Mr. Robbie," and he looks at me. He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I want to let you know I'm Kenny Sager from Austin Burke. I met your father like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and what a nice man. I just want to let you know that you had a great father." And I told him that he started liking me. I told him the story. He laughed. He said, "My father lived way under."
Really?
Way under. So that's what I teach people today.
Yeah.
Live way under.
Way under. Keep your overhead low.
Keep your overhead low. And everything in life, if you buy it right, you could sell it right. If you buy high, you get hurt.
Yeah.
So whatever you guys are buying out there, you got to make sure it's a good deal.
Yeah.
If it's not a good deal, you'll walk away. But you young kids today pay over. You made the prices today high. Rolexes.
Oh.
They're paying over. They don't even have a Mayors. Then you go to the second
market, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they ain't got it. Corvettes.
They don't got it.
I wanted to buy a Corvette here. It was $10,000 almost over MSRP. I got on. I researched it. I got it out of Ohio for $8,000 under MSRP. When I buy clothing and the suit is $400 wholesale, I'm not buying it at $400. I got to compete. I want to blow the next guy out. I give him a big order, and then maybe I get 20, 30 off. That's how it's got to be working in America today. You got to buy it right. You can't give the guy what he gives. I see you guys go to restaurants, and you buy bottles.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Bottles.
Yeah.
My guy, who's the head guy at the Fountain Blue.
Yeah.
Do you know what they do at Club Live on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night in that club? They do over $1 million.
That's ridiculous.
And they buy bottles. A bottle of Patron.
Yeah.
You go in Patron in the bar and it's $40, $50, $60 for a bottle.
Yeah.
$3,000.
Crazy.
I mean, the young people today.
They're blowing the money.
They're blowing the money. Put your money away. Let it work for you.
Give me 2 or 3 pieces of advice you'd give to somebody coming out of school. What would you tell them? I'm going to tell you one that I always give, and it reminds me of you. Learn how to sell. Even if you're going to be the CFO of the company, you want to know how to persuade people to listen, all the techniques, because at some point you are selling. Meaning, if you're, let's say, the CFO, you're going to be selling, hey, here are the financial reports. This is why you need to be doing this. Company CEO, this is why we may want to invest in this or cut back on that. Like that they don't teach it enough in school. If you look at colleges, they don't have a sales manager or a sales degree. They have the funny guy or whatever.
The college today is like high school.
Yeah.
If you don't have a master's.
Yeah. Right. You got to get going.
Well, as I was saying, if you want to learn how to sell, you got to listen.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't listen for a lot of years, very stubborn, and I would talk, and I wouldn't let the customer listen.
Right.
Or the guy who was showing me the ropes.
Yeah.
So you got to be on time. Today, you got to work it.
Yeah.
That means if you open at 9, wherever you are, whether you're CFO or working for somebody, you get there 8:45.
Yeah.
And then you leave and you ask your boss, is there anything else I can do for you? A lot of these young kids today don't come on time. They don't have the guts.
No.
And whatever they're teaching in school, they don't bring it to the table.
No.
So you got to bring it to the table. At least Show that you can bring it to the table.
Correct.
You know, play a little poker.
Yeah.
Let the guy figure out, hey, man, this guy's good. Let me work with him. Show your cards, but make sure your cards are lined up and have discipline and work and watch the next guy. I look for the top guy.
Yeah.
So if I'm playing baseball, and I played ball when I was a kid. My kid played at LSU. You got to get with a guy that has good qualities, shows up at the park,
100%.
takes extra swings, studies the books, the signs. You know, today's baseball is a whole different ball game. I don't want to get into, but you got to work it, and you got to learn it and absorb it.
Yeah.
And don't worry about Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday to party. You know where your party starts at? Home.
That's right.
And when you start it at home and you start making that money, instead of blowing it, start investing it. Invest it in yourself. Invest it in your future. Look, like I said when I came in here, I'm uneducated. My son told me that I was an uneducated millionaire. Now I'm an uneducated multimillionaire. You don't have to go to college to get smart. You got to just take what you have, learn, listen, and then put it to test. Listen, I have a team that I need to hire for my retirement. You know, I got a few dollars, and I've been doing this all my life, investing. And I didn't know nothing. If it sounds good, I would buy it.
Yeah.
You know, if Apple sound good, I went with Apple Records with the Beatles. I said, you know what? I like Apple. Give me 100 shares at $20.
Yeah.
That $100 got me $250,000. I got smart. Real estate. Buy it when it's right. Buy it on the low. Do a fix-me-up. Get an interest rate that's affordable. Don't buy a car if it's 7-8%. Wait for it to drop to 5%. You don't need to buy a Mercedes-Benz when you got Chevrolet money.
True.
There's always time to grow. Look at your future. Aim for that Mercedes. Aim for that Rolex. But buy it right. But you have to invest. You think that girl cares? You take her to the club and then you treat her and you buy her this and buy her that. Well, what are you going to do when 10 years from now, instead of going for a $300 dinner, you go for a $100 dinner and you put the $200 through stocks, the S&P 500.
Yeah.
I believe in stocks.
Yeah.
I made my money in real estate and stocks. Uneducated. I want to hire a team now. I don't want to hire a team. I'm averaging 18% on my money the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Why? Because I like it. I like the action. I used to be a degenerate gambler. All right?
Yeah.
I used to bet like
Big.
forget about it. And winning and losing, the same feeling.
Totally.
It's
totally.
a terrible feeling.
It's a terrible feeling.
But you can't win at that.
No, you can't. You can't.
That's why Vegas is Vegas. You can lose in the stock market too.
Yeah.
But if you buy blue chips, if you buy good stuff like good stuff,
you
you
diversify.
can name 5 of them. I mean, NVIDIA today, I don't know. I don't own it.
Right.
Am I stupid for not owning it? I don't like anything that goes too fast to the moon.
Yeah, right.
I like it to go up, like Merck. I like good stuff.
Good stuff that you understand.
Instead of blowing your money, invest your money because rainy days are more than sunny days.
100%.
And people, they say, oh, you got sunny days and rainy days. I could tell you there's more rainy days than sunny days. And look for your future. And your future will be bright. Make America what it used to be. And we could still make America great again. Whether it's him or her, we all got to come together.
We do.
And if we can all come together and be one, it would be such a beautiful country. And it can be. It's easily done.
It's easily done. We actually agree with, and both parties or whatever. I'm with you. I hate the parties. On more things than we actually realize. That's what's crazy. I got to tell you, I'm getting a vibe. Well, Kenny 2025,
like
Kenny
I told you,
2026. Come on, baby.
I would love, like your dad did it. Those guys do it. I would love to do it, but they would open me up like a can of worms.
All right,
Bro, I wouldn't be married. I wouldn't be here. I'd probably be, they torture me.
give me a couple mutiny stories. Give me a couple of stories of that era.
Nah, I don't even want to go there, but there was a lot of stories. I mean, there was a lot of great things. I went through bad things too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I saw the Marlins win the World Series twice.
Yeah.
I saw McDuffie riots.
Terrible.
I've seen the bright lights and I've seen no lights. I mean, this city's been so good to me.
Yeah.
That when they say, where am I from? And you know from my accent, and I'm a Brooklyn boy.
Right.
I'm not from Brooklyn, guys. I'm from Miami. I love the 305. And without the 305, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. So I'm thanking Miami people, the real Miami people, that made me grow.
Yeah.
And made a man out of me, because this is a great city. I had great times in this city, and it was very enjoyable. And now, you know, my ending is coming, you know, where I got to enjoy it, but I'll never leave Miami. Miami is my home. And Brooklyn, New York, that's another home, but it ain't my home. This is my home. And
you keep saying an ending's coming. I think it's called a rebirth.
Well, I'm going to take some time.
The rethinking of
I'm going to run this big
move.
sale, so I want everybody to come down.
When is the sale?
I got till March, so I'll probably blow up everything in Christmas around there, maybe earlier.
I'm definitely going to go in.
And guys, just come in, say hello. And even if you're new customers, you can still steal my goods. I'd rather give it to my old customers that've been loyal to me. Yeah. I mean, I have some great, I mean, you know.
Yeah, man, you got that.
The guy right here, this guy's great. Yeah. I mean, over the years, your brothers.
Huicho.
Huicho Hernandez, man. Best second baseman ever seen. 5'5". He made my kid a great infielder, too. You know, Brett played at LSU.
I know he did.
And Huicho couldn't afford a suit. And I gave him his first suit.
Nice.
And Huicho remembers that. And now look at Huicho.
And you got to get a little suit for him. So that's
well, he got a little big like me, you know. But just guys like that.
Great guys.
I mean,
man.
I can go
the
through,
stories that you must have.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
just people. I mean, that I've been with, regular people. You know, I go to a restaurant, they know my name. Now I live in Broward. They don't know me in Broward County.
Yeah, they don't know. You're a
guy.
Dade County guy.
I mean, I know one guy, Anthony Bruno from Runway 84. Great restaurant if you're ever up there. But everybody, I mean. The city is such a great city, and it was a small city. Now it's a big city.
Now it's a big city with a lot of transit and people from all over the world. Okay, big sports. Everyone knows you from the Heat.
Love the Heat.
Goran Dragic is one of your good friends, correct?
Best friend.
Best friend.
In fact, like I said, family comes first.
Yeah, he's become a real tight friend.
He wanted me to go to his retirement party in Sylvania, but I couldn't get away because I'm understaffed. So he sent me like filmage of his games, and they had Bosch out there.
Nice.
Played a little.
Did he really? Wow.
Butler didn't go. He had something to do in China. But yeah, Goran lives now in the Shores, Miami.
Okay.
He's raising his children
here in Miami. He made
here in Miami. He's doing real well, and he's going to be a coach for the Heat next year.
Is he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's
he's
awesome.
not telling anybody. You heard it from me. So
breaking news.
That's breaking news. He's coming back.
What's the story?
Is that Warren Sapp right there? Who is that guy?
That's a picture of Dave Chappelle.
He looks like Warren, man. I swear to God. From far away.
What's the story about when you and Dragic went to the Metro Zoo together, that he wanted to go to the zoo and you took him to the zoo?
Yeah, what a nightmare that was. Yeah. Kenny, please don't do this. Don't take me in there. You know, I said, come on, we'll go see the gorillas. And Ron, you know, he got me in there, and we're going all inside the places, and it was crazy. And Goran said, I'm with my children. You can't do this. Let's get out of here. And we kind of exited, and we went on our little trolleys around there. But Goran, when he came here, he was supposed to win a championship. Yeah. And then Bosch.
We had bad luck.
We had bad luck.
We had a good team.
He had a great team. If Goran was the piece to the picture.
I still say today, in the bubble, had Goran not gotten hurt and had Bam not screwed up his shoulder, I think we beat the Lakers.
Oh, yeah.
Because Goran was on fire.
And let me tell you something else so you hear it first. The Miami Heat will be in it this year.
Why?
Don't knock them out. Do not knock the Miami out. We have a good young core.
Healthy.
And they're healthy.
Yeah.
And the rookie we got.
I love him.
He's going to be great.
Yeah.
Whether he starts after 10, 20 games,
Yeah.
that's up to Spo.
Yeah.
But I could tell you, Bam has reaching his peak.
Yeah.
Butler, I love not giving him the money.
Love it.
You should have played 80 games or 75 games. You would have got your money, buddy.
Yeah.
But when you don't, that's another thing. When you're making the money, you don't get lazy.
Correct.
You go back to work.
Yes.
See, with me, I got the money. I'm going to work. Now, maybe my age won't let me work, but I'm going to work until I don't want to work. But if you want to get the money, you got to work.
You got to get in the
And
grind.
he said he's going to work crazy this year so he can get a
the
big contract.
Yeah.
Good. Let him do that. And
Yeah.
if we can afford him, we will. If not,
You got to
he
go.
hits the road,
Yeah.
you know, and good luck to him. But I think Jaime is going to be great this year. And I think
The other kid.
Joe, I can't
Joker.
even
Yeah, whatever
pronounce
his name. Yeah.
great kid, comes into my store.
Really?
Oh, all those guys. They come in. I take good care of them, and they're very happy.
And
when
we
I go
got a
in,
great coach.
You got to come with me to the stadium when you have a little time.
I will.
And then I'll show you the inside where you can't go, where I can go.
You don't even have tickets.
I go
You
through the
just show
back door.
up.
You know, like that movie,
The Goodfellas.
Goodfellas,
When they go to the Copacabana
restaurant.
Club. That's
how
you.
I go. No security. I go right in. And, you know, the drinking, they know not to serve me too many drinks anymore.
But you're in. You know everybody.
I've been going there for 28 years.
Yeah.
The old stadium I like better, by
Miami
the way,
Arena.
on the 8th Street.
Yeah, I
believe.
remember.
And that was a beautiful time, too. I like there. But
Great run. Great
run.
All right. So in the NBA, should they bring back coaches wearing suits?
So I just got Coach Bo's pants in like last week.
Okay.
I got these new pants with the adjustable sides.
Yeah.
No belt loops, really nice. I don't like it. I don't like players that are hurt sitting on the sideline with hoodies on.
I hate it.
And with the holes in the pants. No. I like the old commissioner.
Me too. David Stern.
I know he was like a dictator.
Yeah.
But sometimes in this world, you need a little of that.
You need
an
an iron
nice
fist.
way, an iron fist, because if you let it run loose, then there's no control.
No control.
And there's no like rules. So you can go in like that is what you're wearing, bro, is very jacket, t-shirt.
Yeah.
Cool, sneaks. But when you walk in with a hoodie, you know,
You're at work. You're not in your pajamas.
I understand why the coaches wear tracksuits.
Yeah.
Because they're moving on the court
it's hot. Yeah.
and they're bending.
Yeah, I get it.
You know, and they're doing that. In college now, they're still wearing suits. The UM coach.
You're right, he does.
He wears suits. They still wear suits. I kind of would like the suit game back.
Yeah.
But I sell a lot of suits, whether they wear them or not. But for me, it's more comfortable. When they got in the bubble, things changed. The whole NBA changed.
Got more casual.
But I liked what the NBA did. They all got together, whether with this Colin guy and the football.
Yeah.
They stood up. They held hands.
Yeah.
They didn't kneel when the flag came up. Because let me tell you something. And I'll tell you straight up, brother.
Yeah, let's do it.
In the 1960s, I was about 16 years old coming here. We had draft cards. You know, we were getting them.
Yeah.
And my mother said, you ain't going. And I didn't know if you have the last name or something, your last surviving child, they don't take you.
Right.
But my mother said, you know what? You're going to go to Canada. You're not going to war at Vietnam. You're not going to fight that stupid war.
And you were at the tail end of it.
And I was a hippie. I had long hair, bro. I was a wild man.
Yeah.
And, you know, my mother was going to send me to Canada. Just get out.
Get out of here. Yeah.
So now when I see it,
was
I a wimp would have gone? Probably, because I ain't going to get a bullet put in me.
Right.
But you got to respect the people.
You got to respect them.
That went there and fought for us.
Yeah, man.
We wouldn't be here today. So whether, you know, you stand up, you pledge allegiance in schools, I believe in that, man.
Of course, man.
That makes unity. That makes us come together.
Yeah.
And when I see a vet come into my store,
you thank
and
him.
he's wearing a hat, World War I, II, or a vet, man, I thank him.
Yeah, man.
I put my hand on him and say, I want to thank you for the service, for making me a free man in this country.
Yeah, man.
Because right now, we're very shaky.
Very shaky.
And if you don't watch out, this country can go like that. We could be a socialist country overnight.
Oh, don't
get
me going.
I'm just telling you what I'm seeing, and I don't want to get into the political arena.
Yeah.
Because Both arenas are wrong.
They're wrong.
But in this country, you should be able to make as much money as you want, pay your taxes. I believe in paying taxes.
Of course.
I pay my taxes
Yeah.
because you know how when you know you're paying taxes?
How?
What does that tell you when you're paying
You're
taxes?
making money.
You're making the money. Now, if you're trying to steal,
No, yeah,
it
right.
ain't right.
Yeah.
You got to go to sleep at night.
Yeah, you got to go to sleep.
You got to
at
go
night.
to
You can't be
sleep
an
at
idiot.
night.
Yeah.
Why would I want to steal from the government? They steal enough. Don't get me wrong.
And they misspend
You're paying
enough.
enough.
Yeah.
But I feel happy to pay taxes. You know why? Because I made money.
Because you made money. Yeah.
You know, and don't blame this guy or her.
No.
Let me tell you something. There's loopholes
Oh, ton.
in a business.
Yeah.
How is there loopholes? So I want people to understand this.
Yeah.
In my business,
Mhm.
I have loopholes. I have losses.
Sure.
Inventory gets old, I can write it off.
Yeah.
I take clients out for dinners,
Right.
vacations, shows, whatever I got to do, I write it off
Yeah.
until they cap it.
Right.
And say you're only allowed this much and this much. Then they'll change the rules.
Right.
But you can't blame people for not paying taxes because you have loopholes. They got to change it in the government,
Yep.
not us.
No.
It's them.
It's them.
So when you can get away with it, I'm going to get away with it.
Yeah.
And so will everybody else, because you can get away with it until they change that.
Yeah, but once you start the socialist BS,
Then you got problems.
Then you got big
because
problems.
now you're going to get a guy like me, a
Yeah.
guy like you,
Yeah.
and you won't want to work. Why are
No.
you working for? To help them? They're not helping themselves.
no.
You know, I can't even. The reasons I'm retiring
Yeah.
is because I can't get help.
You
I pay.
It's tough.
You come into my store.
Yeah.
I have 25 employees.
Yeah.
You know how many employees I have there that are over 20 years?
I don't know.
How about 80% of them?
That's amazing. You run a great culture. You run
I
a great
pay
business.
them.
You pay them well. But you
know
treat
why?
them well,
But
too.
I treat them well.
Yeah.
But when it's time to work, we work. They get
You
on
work.
the phones. They do that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to hire new people.
Forget it.
I have a beautiful girl working for me now.
Yeah.
She's a cashier. I pay her $20 an hour.
Right.
I pay well.
Yeah.
So I told her, you're too smart to be here. What do you mean? She conned me because she knows enough English to get me through the door.
Yeah.
But when I ask her to do things, she doesn't understand.
Yeah.
I said, why don't you do this? How old are you? 27. I said, why don't you go learn English?
Yeah.
Oh, no, too hard. You went to college in Venezuela?
Yeah.
She goes, yeah. I said, then why didn't you learn English? What did you do there? Journalism. I said, okay. You graduated there? She said, yeah. I said, why you come here for? She said, better opportunity. And the way the country with the dictatorship.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I said, why don't you learn English? Is it that hard? They said, our language is the hardest language to learn.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that. Is that true?
No.
Okay. So what I would recommend is if you're going to come into this country, you get a written test. And if you can't pass an English test,
Yeah.
you don't come in
Yeah.
because you're hurting us because we can't hire you. You can't do nothing. And you're hurting yourself because you can't make money because you're limited.
Yeah.
If I'm going to Venezuela, Colombia, their language is Spanish.
You got to learn it.
You think I'm going to do good over there if everybody's Spanish?
No.
I know I can sell ice in the winter, bro. But if I can't speak it to sell it, I ain't worth the
I
shit.
have a feeling you would figure it out. You would learn how to sell in Spanish.
Well, I would have to get one of those phones now
No,
where
but
you
you would-
talk
you would-
into it and go like that. Hey, or blah, blah, blah. They do that now.
Yeah, you would figure it out.
But, and just in life now, no one's taken that step.
Yeah, right.
And if they took that step, we would kill it.
We would kill it. This country would be ready to rock.
And, we're making a lot of countries very wealthy right now.
Mhm.
China.
Yeah.
We put them on the map.
Sure we did.
And they own more here than we own.
Yeah.
But everything we want cheap, so we went to China.
Yeah.
My product here in my store, Austin Burke,
Yeah.
85% of it is China.
Really?
And the other is 15% is Italy.
I always wondered, how did you compete with like Men's Warehouse? How would you compete with those guys?
There
and
is
even
not.
now.
They're
They're done. They're toast.
They're done. They're finished. They went bankrupt already, and now they're just hanging on.
And what did they do wrong? How did they screw up the
They
business?
got rid of George Zimmer.
Why? He was the brainchild.
He was the man.
He was the man. And then what did they do? They just
They
tried
just
to
they
mass
blew
market.
him out, and then they brought in Made to Measure,
Yeah.
and they didn't know how to do that, and they got name brands of yesterday, the Calvin Kleins,
And nobody
their
wants
cheap
that.
suits.
Yeah.
Tommy Hilfiger, Good names, cheap.
Cheap. Right.
Whenever you buy a name brand,
Yeah.
you know why you're buying the name?
Why?
Because the product's no good. I'm
There
telling
go.
you.
Yeah, you're
My
right.
wife comes home with Louis bags.
Yeah.
They ain't worth a shit. None of them bags. But they put a label on it. It sells.
It's all the brand.
branding.
It's all branding.
It's all branding.
Yeah.
And if you brand it well, you could sell it.
You could
no
sell it.
matter what it is,
Yeah.
whether it's good or bad. But see, I know merchandise.
Right.
So you can't tell me, like a Louis Vuitton,
Yeah.
the straps are leather. Everything's plastic in that bag.
Really?
The inner lining
Yeah.
is leather.
Yeah.
The outside's all plastic.
Wow.
Gucci, all that stuff. And you see the markup they get on those bags?
Oh, massive.
4,000 for a bag, 5,000. My
Crazy.
wife comes home with bags. I put numbers on them. Number 56. If they're 5,600, she gets them. I call her the LT. What's that? I go, that's LT from the Giants.
From the Giants.
Lawrence Taylor. I put names on them. I mean, and they're selling high-end
Oh,
products.
yeah. Yeah. And they
My
don't
wife-
discount anything.
My wife went to Merrick Park. My
Yeah.
daughter's getting married next month.
Congrats.
Thank you. In Portland, Oregon, she lives.
Yeah.
And she bought a pair of shoes. She didn't even tell me the price. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Stilettos. Said they're a little too old for these. Don't you think you're gonna break a leg? I mean, they're long. Oh, they're beautiful. I go, how'd you pay for them? She says, oh, I took care of it. She got her own funds.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And how much? So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. How much? I looked up the shoes. They were $2,500. I wouldn't buy $2,500.
Of course not.
I mean, in today's world, that's what they want.
That's
Name
what they want. Yeah.
brands.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
They
Yeah.
want name
They
brands.
want the name brands. They
Look
want
at
to show up.
the guy at the steak joint on the beach.
Which one? Oh, the Poppy.
Oh, he puts a thing in there. It's $1,000 steak.
It's the same steak as
He's a
everywhere
good
else.
guy. He's a client of mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. Yeah. But they're good marketers.
Great marketers.
Great marketers.
Great market. But
They
boom.
do. They do the whole
And
theater.
they put a 4th
the
of July, fire comes out of there. I mean, come on.
Your tab is $5,000. Yeah, it's a
Yeah, no
freaking
problem. And the guy gets the bill, he starts shaking. Today they ask you want water? Would you like water, or you want a spritz? What do they say? Water, plain water, or the
Sparkling water. Yeah.
You get the bill, $35.
Yeah.
I go, I didn't want that water. I
Yeah.
want a plain water. What's wrong with the 305 water? And Goran Dragic is great at that.
Is he?
Oh, Goran has his first dollar he made in the NBA.
No way.
He's educated.
Good for him. Good for him.
He's educated. Smart.
Smart.
Because you know how you make it? You got to be poor.
Yeah.
He was poor from Sylvania.
Got it.
Came up with nothing.
Yeah. Nothing. Yeah.
His parents wanted him to play soccer. He started playing hoops, and he got good.
Yeah.
And that's how he made it. But he lived in a little...
So he saved his money. He knew what
No,
a dollar
but when
was
you
worth.
don't have it,
When you don't have it, right? You know.
and then you make it, it feels so good.
Yeah.
Because you're one of the 0%
Yeah.
that weren't supposed to make it.
Yeah.
So guys out there, ladies out there, you just got to work it. And you work it, you get it.
That's right.
And the stars are there. It's whether you go and reach for them or you sit at home. Remember one thing. They're not coming to you.
No.
You got to go get it.
Yeah.
And that's part of great sales. You got to go
You gotta
and
get
get
it.
it.
Yeah.
Don't wait for them to come to you. I mean, you wait there. You'll be
The phone
sitting
ain't
on the
gonna
chair.
ring. You got
Phone
to
never
you got to
rings.
pound the phones.
No, you pound it.
All right. When's the closeout sale? Give me all the details.
I got till March.
Okay.
So I don't know where I'm looking to relocate.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that the rents are so high. I mean, that's another craziness.
Freaking crazy,
They're
dude.
getting incredible. If I
Incredible.
would have known that, I wouldn't have sold the building.
Yeah.
But I was doing an exit
yeah,
plan.
yeah.
See, I need an exit
Yeah,
plan.
you got to get out.
I don't want to be there 80 years old
No.
like Uncle Berkey.
No.
I want to get out and enjoy.
Enjoy.
But I'll probably be there, and I know other men's retailers are going to be real happy that Austin Burke might disappear.
But you're not
But I'm
disappearing.
not
That's what
disappearing
people
yet.
don't know.
And we'll see where we go. But I got to clear the inventory so I can.
All right.
I have to, find a location.
Yeah.
And then I have to fix the location.
Yep.
Showcase it, build it out.
Yeah.
And that'll take 3 to 4 or 5 months. So I'll
Okay.
go on a little vacation. I'll have my guys. I'm
Yeah.
not doing any of that.
Yeah.
Probably the blowout sale will be anywhere from like Black Friday, I would say, maybe a little earlier,
Yeah.
till the end of January. I have a lot of inventory, guys, and I got a lot of inventory, great inventory, all 25s. So when you come in, I have guys there, and I'll be blowing them out. I mean, you'll be buying $1,000 suits for $150, $200,
Wow.
whatever's left.
Guys, and he has great suits. Definitely go and check it out. Kenny, before
Sport
we
coats
leave,
and everything.
give us some words of wisdom. Break it down for us before we leave. Give me a couple parting thoughts.
Well, I think you got to wake up,
Yep.
smell the coffee, and get your ass, and don't be lazy. Obama said something years ago when he was president, and that was the only statement that I stood up and clapped. He got up to America on national TV and said, Americans, we got to stop being lazy. And that's where we are in this nation.
Yep.
And I think if you work hard, you have your obstacles, you have to be disciplined, and you have to break them. You got to go through them. Every great football player goes through them. That's how you get to the next level. If you don't work hard, and you have to have dignity, and you have to have compassion for your fellow man. If you work it, and you work hard, and you grind, every day's a grind, every day.
Every day.
And you put that money away for that rainy day, because there's a lot of rainy days.
They're coming.
You're going to be good. And America is good. And like I said, you just got to bust it. And you got to reach and go. When you could get a little, you go for a lot. You don't quit. That's the key. Don't quit.
Don't quit.
Keep hustling. It's all about a hustle. Whatever you do, whether you're a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer, you got to hustle. If you ain't got no hustle, you ain't got nothing.
Thank you so much. That was awesome, Kenny. Great
Hey,
having you on
for
my
having
brother.
me here, man. Go Heat.
Go Heat, and go check out Austin Burke. You're gonna love their suits. I know I wear them. I'm a longtime client.
Family.
Yeah, my whole family. Go check them out, man. Thank you.
God bless.